Please don't knock those together. No.
Holy shit!
Jesus. Bobby, stop! Bobby, stop! What's wrong with you?
Woo!
Do not move! Do not move! What is wrong with you? Laura, are you dumb? How are you laughing at this?
I'm good. 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 Good.
Yeah. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Rumble? This is Mr. Royce of Royce Media coming at you guys with another video, with another live stream. What's happening, monkeys? Yeah. Some of y'all don't like being called monkeys. I don't care. How y'all doing, man? It's Thursday. Week is almost over. One more day. You can hang out with your friends and family over the weekend. You can go sneak over Big Shirley house at 2 in the morning and eat some booty biscuits, because I know that's what y'all do. Yeah. What y'all got going on today besides work, driving in traffic, dropping off them Amazon packages? Yeah. Yeah. As usual, there's a lot going on in the news. We'll talk about it a little bit. And mostly, I'll just be rambling. So just get ready for that. You got something you want me to rant or ramble about? Put it in the chat. Speaking of which, as you come in, hit that like button and announce yourself in the chat, because as always, I like to know where people who come check out the stream, I like to know where they're watching from. So do me that favor and I'll appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sitting up here running my mouth on Rumble. Ain't talking to nobody. I'm talking to somebody now. What y'all doing in Rumble? Shout out Rumble, yeah. We on Twitter. Facebook is tripping, so I can't get on Facebook like I want to. But we're going to get that figured out. We're going to get that figured out. We're going to get that figured out like you get it figured out to get over Big Shirley's house at 3 in the morning. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of talk in the news continually about this Fannie Willis situation. There's a lot of talk about Tiffany Henry. Actually, Anton Daniels was going live on those guys. Y'all know Anton. Most of y'all know Anton Daniels. If you don't, go check out Anton Daniels. He's got a few channels. He's got the Millionaire Morning Show. He's got the Anton Daniels Show, and he be going in. I like Anton. I like Anton a lot. It seems like a cool dude. It's one of the content creators I haven't met or talked to outside of YouTube, but I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah. So, yeah, Anton Daniels is a good guy. But he's going in on Tiffany Henyard and Fannie Willis. Tiffany Henyard has the FBI looking into allegations of corruption. That is not good news for her, because they're not just going to jump at anything and go after her. They're going to make sure they have all their ducks in a row. And then they're going to pop off. And don't tell her how long that's going to take. That's potentially a long time for stress. I've seen it a lot. FBI has never went after me. I've never done anything for the FBI to go after me, but I've worked with the FBI in the past, and I know how they work, and they take years to do some cases, but when they got you, they got you. You're gonna plead out. It is what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So other than that, man, I don't have much going on. I'm sitting out here in my sitting in my lanai in my enclosure, hanging out. I wanted to do this show outside today because the weather's nice. It's about 71 degrees here, so why waste it indoors? I don't like to be indoors all that much anyway. I like to be outside. I'm an alley cat, so I want to be outside. You know, I like being outside. Even when it's cold, as much as I don't like the cold, I like to be outside. Like I said, I'm an alley cat. You know, yeah. So guess we'll look at some current topics today. Let's see what's happening on YouTube. See what we can talk about. What's in the news? Unless you all have something you all want to talk about, then we'll talk about that. Let me see what's going on. Yesterday I was on I was listening to community anthropology, or in other words, SKC. And no, this was actually Hood Conservative. My fault, my fault. I was listening to Hood Conservative yesterday, and he was talking about um he was showing some videos, basically South Africans speaking about the situation over there in South Africa, over in Zimbabwe, and how basically they are in a situation where they've taken back all of the land and stuff from the white farmers, and now they don't know what to do with it. And so now they're asking the white farmers to come back in some cases to help them deal with the land. Ain't that about something, man? You know what? Let me go over there to the Hood Conservative channel. Let me see if I can find that video that Hood did, because it was tripped out, and watching it on Hood's channel was not the first time I've seen something like that. Let me see if I can. See if I can find this video. Oh yes, this was the We Was Kangs video. And copy that boy. Shout out to Hood. He ain't gonna never get monetized. I'm pretty much never gonna be monetized either. I mean, it is what it is. I would love to be monetized, but I'm facing the reality that I'm not gonna be monetized. What's up, Jimmy Olive? How you doing today, sir? Glad you can join me. What you got going on today, Jimmy? Me, I'm here chilling, talking to you guys, and we're about to pull up this Hood Conservative video. We was Kangs. I don't know how you feel about that. If that's something you subscribe to, you might not like how this goes, bro. That's just being honest. Let's see if I can get this video to do what I needed to do. For some reason, I can't seem to. Internet is working pretty slow today. I can't even hear it. Not on my end. Let me see what's going on. Because I need to give some commentary on this video. I don't even see. I don't know, man. This video's tripping, man. No, I see why. Hold on. That's not what we want to do.
Please like the video. Like, share, and subscribe. I understand that I am approaching sensitive subject matter today. Here to do such things, and we can talk about Africa.
Let me see where. There's a part in this video.
Not necessarily the original people, but they are a product of what was basically the ancestors of white people moving into Africa and then populating Africa with their stock. Or crossbreeding and adding to the population their stock. How big of a nuke? 1 to 10.
I would say at the very least, somewhere between a 6 to a 7, because
So wait, let me scale this.
Shout out to SKC. SKC was already was there as well. Shout out to SKC, another also known as Community Anthropology. Seems like I'm having a little bit trouble with my internet signal. You working on your cardio, Jimmy? Me too. All right, let me get back to this video. Let me find out what's going on with this internet connection, man. Seems to be all good. All right. let's try to continue.
So hold on. Is it bigger or smaller than Hiroshima?
Yeah, it's bigger. It's
Okay,
bigger.
yeah.
And this boy's freezing up. Here we go. Here we go, right here. Check this out.
Electricity, roads, railway, buildings you see in South Africa. This is why South Africa is the only country which was much richer than a lot of African countries. It's because of white people there. Because of white people. That's why black people are benefiting from things they didn't build in South Africa. They didn't build those things. You understand? But they're benefiting. They have no idea that without white people there, the country will collapse straight into the drain. Straight into the drain. Because a lot of black people, they don't know, number one, you need science and technology to produce electricity. You need science and technology to produce clean water. You need science and technology to produce roads, railway, all these other things. White people are the ones who introduced it and are the ones running it. Clean water, you need chlorine, you need all these. Black people don't know anything about that. You see, they don't know anything. So if you take things from white people and take land from white people, when white people invested and developed these things, Europeans introduced farming. They're the ones who started to make land to produce food. After noticing that Africans were hunter-gatherers, we were hunting animals, killing impalas and things of that nature, eating wildebeest and killing impalas for food. Africans didn't farm. Africans didn't farm. No African person farmed in Africa. Nobody. Farming was introduced by white people. Black people just, they gathered fruits in forests. Fruits which naturally grow in forests and eat it. When Europeans realized you can't feed anyone.
You know, there's a particular pro-black argumentation that says one of the reasons why European culture developed the way it did versus African culture developed the way it did is that you don't actually have to farm to survive in Africa. You can actually live a subsistence lifestyle. You can kill a couple impala, pick some mangoes or cassavas or whatever the fuck grows on their trees over there. You know, you can plant some of those big root things, whatever, root starchy vegetables they eat. And so you don't have to actually have real farming. You can just eat the shit that grows.
All right, let's stop for a second right there. All right, let's talk about what the African gentleman was talking about. What do you all think about that? What's your opinion? Well, having visited Uganda for purposes of work and and stuff, I tend to agree with what the African gentleman said. And this is not the first time I've heard this sentiment coming from Africans, especially in that area. And if you look at what Africans have said on the world screen, is that they want help with their infrastructure. They want help building their country, which that's fine. I understand that, but it goes it conflicts with wanting the land and control of the land and resources because Africans have demonstrated that they really don't understand how to utilize and manipulate the land and the resources in order to bring the African continent to the first world. And that's the thing that that's the conundrum that I see with the Africans. Particularly when you talk about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe used to be Rhodesia, and this is what Hood Conservative and SKC were talking about yesterday. It used to be Rhodesia, and when it was Rhodesia, that one country fed the entire continent due to the agriculture. Excuse me. And now that it is back, and now that the land is back into the control of the Africans there, they're not really doing much with the land and stuff. And this situation kind of reminds me of the reparations discussion. As I've told you all before, I am not against reparations. Me being half ADOS, me being half Afro Latin, I'm not against the idea of reparations. Um, I just have my questions and concerns. One of my concerns is if you look at the current state of predominantly black areas, um, the, the 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 situation of the blacks who are in power, the black Americans who are in power, and what they're doing with their power in those predominantly black areas, I don't see a strong case for saying that black America is going to be top competitors once they get control of um of reparations wealth and areas and different things like that. I'm looking at the situation where in black areas those school systems in there are predominantly controlled by black women, and the boys can't read. If you can't read, you can't effectively use information to effectively compete. So that's one of my concerns. Another one of my concerns is that if you give black Americans reparations money, will it be effectively will it be optimally used in order to increase black wealth? My argument is that looking at what black Americans are doing with their money now, it's just going to go back to, it's just going to continue to leave black areas. Jimmy Alice says, so is it is tradition stopping them from modernizing? I think there's a strong argument for that, Jimmy. Quite frankly, I think it is. I think that for all the time that the Afrikaners, which are the white South Africans, of primarily of Dutch descent, I think during the time they controlled the land and controlled the agriculture, I don't think that the Africans in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, formerly known as Rhodesia, took the opportunity to learn how to farm and manipulate the land because they took for granted that somebody else would do it. And I mean, you even see it now. Look at the amount of black farmers that we have in this day and age. You know, black Americans went from sharecroppers to basically being ultra consumers. So if they controlled, if black America and predominantly black areas were controlled by black people, how many people would venture into farming and stuff? And I mean serious commercial farming. Um, I was in a military school with some white guys who were farmers, and we got into a conversation about farming because one of them had a degree in agricultural sciences, and so I had some questions, and I asked my questions, and and that conversation led into the economics of farming, and he was explaining how much farming equipment costs, and I was like, yikes. I mean, millions of dollars for like combines and different things like that, and understanding the soil. It's a science in itself, understanding what to plant where, how to cycle the soil and stuff. There's a lot to it, and I don't think that the South Africans took that time to learn it, because now they have control of the land and they're asking for help from the very people they kicked off the land. They're asking help from the Chinese. And one thing I understand about how the Chinese do business, it's terrible. They they've had South African countries such as Kenya. They have a 450-year lease on the ports in Kenya. They have a loan. They made a loan to the Kenyans to where basically the Chinese have control and will be paid by the Kenyans for the next 450 years. That's crazy. All because the Kenyans don't know how to run their own ports. That's crazy. Jimmy Alice says that equipment is pricey. Yeah, man, that equipment. I was shocked to hear the numbers of about how much that equipment costs. It's millions of dollars just to be, just to make it, just to break even. It costs millions of dollars. Owning the land, having the land is simply not enough. If you don't know what to do with it, it's just there. And I think this is what happened to Africans on the most part so far. They had access to the land and didn't do anything with it. And looking at Black Americans, I see a lot of the same. You know, when they was giving out all that PPP money, when they was giving out all of that those stimulus checks and stuff, you didn't see Black Americans who were renting buying houses. You look at a lot of Black areas, especially urban areas, a lot of the properties are dilapidated because the majority of people that live in those properties, there's two things. One, they don't know how to take care of the properties that they're living in. And number two, they don't have the money for the upkeep. And so most of them are in a situation where it's better off to rent because then they don't have to worry about that. But then they turn around and talk about how they don't own anything in their own neighborhoods. I'm like, well, if you're not really taking care of the places that you rent, how's it going to be different if you own that place? So I don't, that's how I see it. And you don't really see initiatives to show Black Americans around the country in predominantly Black areas. There are not initiatives. They always talk this stuff about community centers and stuff. I have yet to see a community center that teaches home improvement, where they have free home improvement classes for the residents in those areas. I haven't seen it, and I could be wrong. And I am open to being wrong. If any of you all know of programs like that, please let me know and put it in the chat. But I don't even see programs like that. Jimmy Olive says, look up black soil and where it's located. Okay. Yeah, so it's like you have people that want things that they can't take care of. You look at a lot of you look at a lot of these black girls that get these cars, and they'll run them cars until they're out of gas and out of oil. Lock up the engines. You have nowadays, you got Gen Z. Most of black Gen Z does not know how to work on cars. A lot of them guys don't know how to do something as simple as change tire. Change brake pads. It's not hard stuff, but they don't know how to do it. So what's gonna be the difference? You know, if they had control of the infrastructure and the economics and stuff. I don't see a big difference. Let's look at this video by Hood Service. Shout out to Hood Service. That's the homie. Shout out to Hood Service. Let's look at some more of this video, man.
And now here this African guy is sort of walking through that logic on his own. I find that a very interesting point.
I wonder. I wonder if this, and I wonder if
Take your time, Pat.
Gene Roddenberry, when he was thinking about Star Trek, if any of this is based upon this, the Prime Directive.
Hold on. Start that sentence over, SKC. I think we kind of had a glitch for a second. You wonder what?
If Gene Roddenberry, when he was thinking about Star Trek, if any of these ideas were seeded from these type of situations where the Prime Directive, you do not give certain groups advanced technology and knowledge and values before they're ready.
The irony, speaking of the Prime Directive, and I was telling this little brief anecdote earlier about when Chaotic Truth was featured on Bernard Riley's show. I think on that show, he actually introduced the Prime Directive argument, as you kind of are alluding to right now, saying that, they should have never gave you niggas warp technology. And he was referencing like black people in Africa and whatnot. And that's why I found that whole moment yesterday just oddly ironic for he and I to be in together. I'm like, maybe this is a troll. I don't know. Because he was the first person I've ever heard of to mention the Prime Directive argument.
And I just wonder, like on a serious note, they're not trying to make a joke out of it, but there's certain value systems and also other abstract ways of thinking that proceeds certain advancements in technologies and so forth. And I wonder if these lamentations that you're seeing from these people, they have come to that understanding that we can't reproduce this because we're not at that level yet.
All right, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. And a lot of why they aren't at that level, that's a choice. A lot of it is a choice. It's a situation of, everybody has a smartphone nowadays. So if there's something you don't know, that's kind of your own fault. And it's not to say that Africans aren't intelligent enough to do so, because many of the Africans that leave Africa are highly intelligent. A lot of them are engineers, doctors, um, academians, so forth and so on. So they have the intellectual capacity to learn what they need to learn to build the infrastructure in Africa, but they don't. What they do is they get degrees and leave. You know, Jimmy Hollis says, "Bro, chicks and cars, they just don't care." Yeah, they don't. You know, it's crazy. Hey, listen, guys, I got a bit of a late appointment. I gotta have the electrician come take care of some stuff at my house. I'm going to pause this here and come back as soon as the electrician leaves. I'm sorry I got to end this soon, but I got to get this taken care of. I got some an electrical issue I got to deal with. So it's something that I can deal with myself, but I can't sign off on it. You know, and it's somewhere I got to have an electrician sign off on it so I can send them the paperwork in to my insurance. So I got to go ahead and get address this. But I'm going to come back. We're going to talk about this some more. So, um, be on the lookout for the part two because I am definitely coming back because I want to talk about this some more, man. I want to. I want us to roll around our thoughts and opinions about why uh, both Africans and Black Americans um, why this issue seems to be a prevalent and pressing issue among people in the diaspora. So I'm going to end this here and I'll have to come back. Sorry about that, guys. I'll see you guys shortly.